Hello and thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show. The voice of the moment. British singer Dua Lipa is leaping towards stardom with her brand of glitter-free pop. We sit down with her in Paris. And triplets ghetto kids, the Ugandan street children who are inspiring artists from around the world. First, though, we're going to start by returning to the Paris concert hall, the Bataclan, 2 years after the terror attacks. 90 people were killed when gunmen burst into the venue and opened fire in November 2015 during a concert. 2 members of the band, Eagles of Death Metal, that were playing that evening, returned to the stage to mark the 2nd anniversary. Singer Jesse Hughes and guitarist Dave Catching were surprise guests at an event organised by survivors of the attack.
It's difficult to not remember the people that were taken from us, like our friend Nick Alexander and so many others, and we miss them terribly, but we watched people give the greatest demonstration of love that can be given, to give their life for their friends. We were able to bear witness to that, and that's something that we have a burden of responsibility to make certain that everyone knows it all the time, that that's the kind of love that exists in this world, and that it's a beautiful place.
Next, move over Taylor, Katie and Ariana. A new pop princess is burning up the charts with her sophisticated radio-friendly pop. Dua Lipa scooped the Best Newcomer prize at the MTV Europe Music Awards at the weekend. The 22-year-old British-Albanian singer-songwriter is crisscrossing the globe following the release of her self-titled debut album. France 24's music critic Richelle Harrison Plesse met Dua Lipa during her whirlwind Paris stopover.
I got no rules, I count 'em.
Dua Lipa, thank you so much for your time today. Now, you've described your musical style as dark pop. Why?
The first song that I wrote that really helped me dictate what the rest of my album was going to sound like was a song called Hotter Than Hell. And it was also the honesty and the truthfulness behind the lyrics. That's something actually, you know, the darker elements of it and finding influence from something that's not necessarily really happy.
This record has racked up loads of really positive reviews, praising your confidence and also praising how sort of personal it is. Were you ever hesitant about sort of putting it all out there and bearing your soul like that? Absolutely.
I mean, it is scary regardless, you know, whether you put out one song, whether you put out an album worth of music. I put a big part of who I am, and I guess put myself in a really vulnerable position to kind of allow a lot of people to get to know who I am as a person, not just as an artist.
This album is full of really catchy tunes. What's the secret, do you think, to crafting a perfect pop song that gets stuck in your head?
Well, you've got to have numbers in it. No, I'm joking.
One, don't pick up the phone. You know he's only calling because he's drunk and alone. 2, don't let him in. You have to kick him out again. 3, don't be his friend. You know you're gonna wake up in his...
I mean, it's so tricky because pop songs nowadays, you never really know what's going to catch someone's ear and what's going to become like a real earworm. So there's no quite recipe for what the perfect pop song is. I guess you just go with your gut and you go with something that you feel really passionate about and something that's honest to you. And I guess a catchy melody wouldn't hurt.
Practice makes perfect. I'm still trying to learn it by heart.
You started your career by uploading covers to YouTube when you were a teenager. How do you look back at that time?
A bit embarrassed. No, I'm joking. You know, it was a big...
Well, it got you here.
No, it definitely got me here, and I'm so grateful for you know, it opening so many doors for me, but also helping me with my confidence. When you watch back the videos of you 15 and you're staring at the camera like, hi, I'm Dua Lipa, I'm 15 years old, and this is Christina Aguilera, ain't no other man. It makes you cringe a bit. It makes you cringe a bit.
Feel your eyes, they all over me. Don't be shy, take control of me. Get the vibe, it's gonna be lit tonight. No lie.
You've worked with some really big stars since exploding onto the scene, collaborating with Sean Paul, Major Lazer, Miguel, to name but a few, and you did some support gigs for Bruno Mars and Coldplay. What was it like working with such massive stars?
To be able to collaborate them and bring my own take on their style and their genre has been really interesting, and I've made amazing friends along the way, and I've learned, I guess, a lot about myself and what I like, and I really enjoy working with artists that do music completely different to mine, because then I am, you know, able to leave my stamp on it as well.
Your parents are Albanian, from Kosovo. You lived there for a while as a teenager. Has your Albanian heritage shaped your music in any way, do you think, or had any sort of influence?
My father was a musician, and I guess his music, him being a musician, first of all, was always something that really influenced me and inspired me. Just kind of going through the motions of life between two places like London and Kosovo, and both being so different, shaped me as a person. And I feel like who I am really comes through in my music. So without there actually being exact hints of like Albanian music in my music, there is a lot of Kosovo and Albania in me.
He walks away, the sun goes down, he takes the day, but I'm gone, heading your way in this blue shade.
Now, you recently performed a fantastic tribute to the late Amy Winehouse to mark the 6th anniversary of her death. Was it daunting? Because hers are some pretty big shoes to fill. How do you think you paid homage to her without imitating her?
I love what Galant does, to come together and, you know, do a song that is close to him and close to me, but also pay tribute to someone like Amy is daunting. But I guess you just have to go and be yourself more than anything, and allow that to kind of speak for itself, and hopefully do it justice.
Your voices work absolutely
so much.
Beautifully together.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time today, Dua Lipa.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
It was such a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you don't like the way I talk, then why am I on your mind? If you don't like the way I rock, then finish your glass of wine. We fight and we argue, you still love me blind. If we don't fuck this whole thing up, guaranteed I can blow your mind. Mwah.
The amazing Dua Lipa speaking to France 24's amazing music critic Richelle Harrison Plesse. Next, a group of Ugandan street kids have become the stars of a platinum-selling track by Moroccan-American rapper French Montana. The members of Triplets Ghetto Kids, a dance troupe based in Kampala. They were thrust into the spotlight when a YouTube video of their moves went viral 3 years ago. Haxi Mayers Balkan reports.
Ride with me, boss. I got a hard head, but her ass off.
When French Montana's people called, Triplets Ghetto Kids got straight to work.
They gave me the song, and then they told me to create the moves. I always do with the kids. So we sat down, we listened to it, and we started creating some moves. And that's how we came up. And then within 3 days, French Montana was in Uganda. So that's how we came to meet him.
Based in Kampala, Triplets Ghetto Kids is a dance troupe made up of former street children. They appeared in a local artist's music video in 2014, and their impressive moves soon earned them a loyal YouTube following. Moroccan-American rapper French Montana liked what he saw and enlisted them as dancers for his platinum hit, Unforgettable. Triplets Ghetto Kids knew something big was happening when they were invited to perform alongside the star at this year's Black Entertainment TV Awards in LA.
I felt so good because, first of all, we were the first African dancers to perform on that stage, yeah? You know, so I felt so good.
I kneeled on my knees and I prayed to God, and I told him, thank you, God. Because some time back, some few years ago, I was looking at those stages and on TV. I used to admire them, but God made it possible.
They may be revered for their moves, but the dance troupe's founder says the goal was never to be famous. It was about teaching the kids to aim high in all things.
These kids are really now growing up, and each and every kid has his own ambition. They have what they want to be in the future. So we are trying out to see if some, maybe for example, Patricia want to be a lawyer. How can we help her to achieve that?
Dance has offered triplets ghetto kids a way out of poverty and into the international spotlight, but also into the classroom. These kids certainly don't do things by halves.
And that brings us to the end of the show. We're going to leave you with a flamenco festival taking place at the Chaillot Theatre in Paris until the 25th of November. Thanks for your company. Remember our website. We're also on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.